So yeah, let's just jump into it, and I always can cut whatever I want out of it, or whatever we see. So welcome everybody. This is again a little report from the Underwater Rugby Academy. I'm Wolf, and I'm here with Irfan and Julie. And probably you heard about the project about the sensor, just a little sensor in the earmuffs, to get more information, more data about what we do in underwater rugby, how deep we dive, how long we stay down. And this is a big opportunity here at the World Championship in Graz, in Austria, because we have Irfan and Julie here. And my idea was to bring the two of them together, because I think there's a big potential in it, not only getting the data, which will do the device from Irfan, but to have insight into the data, what we can do with the help of Julie. And probably we start with Irfan. You introduce yourself a little bit and your project, then we go over to Julie, who can tell us a little bit what we can do with numbers and data.
Hi, thank you for the introduction, Wolf. My name is Irfan, and I'm an embedded systems engineer. And as you mentioned, I worked on the little project I call PEAT 3D, which stands for pressure, temperature, three-dimensional. And what it is a small fitness tracker for underwater rugby and underwater hockey. So basically it's equipped with a microcontroller, with Bluetooth and some sensors which measure your performance underwater. Basically what it measures is the current depth and the acceleration, which is then used to calculate how long you stay underwater, what's your dive interval, the surface interval, and the effort you put into the performance, into the game. So it's quite small, and you put it in your earmuff and you just start playing, and it starts to measure automatically, and when you're out of the water it stops measuring after a certain timeout, after like 5 minutes or whatever you set it to. Yeah.
And a big thing now about it is, I think what makes it so useful, you have an Android app that it's so easy to use it with your smartphone. So this is a big step to get to the data.
Yeah, there's an Android app, feature complete, I'd say, and you use it to read out the data via Bluetooth. And the data is then stored in the app and is then visualized. It also gives you an insight on your performance. You can discuss the data with your trainer, maybe get some insight from their side on your dive time, on your dive patterns. I think Julie can say a bit more about that. You're the data expert.
It's what really kicked me in this moment was, as a coach, I rely on my experience to see what players do and my own game, but to have actual data, and here comes Julie. If you have data from bigger groups, you get information in what we do, and we can do much more with it. Maybe you can explain a little bit more.
Yeah, it's like if you have more data, you can try to start to look for some trends. And the idea, like with the awesome data that Irfan is collecting, is trying to help to improve performance in underwater rugby. So it's like what is making a player performant or not. And it's not easy because there is a lot of different factors that go in front. And so that's what doing data analysis is like. We are able to consider that there is a lot of different parameters that can impact your performance, and we just disentangle everything, we partition everything to try to find the trends, what's making you the most performant, so helping the coach and helping the player as well.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your background, where you come from? How do you have the knowledge to use all this data? So what do you do? And maybe you heard her name already with the Champions Cup, to doing the schedules for the Champions Cup, and I just called them the Matrix when I wrote an article about it. So tell us a little bit about where you come from and what is the background you have.
So I'm originally from France, and I moved in Australia 7 years ago, and I'm a research scientist working on coral reef. So I'm not a data scientist, like I'm more like a marine ecologist at the beginning. And I just get majoring more and more in mathematics and statistics, because stats can also help to save coral reef. So that's what we try to do. And so that kind of the knowledge that I got through the coral reef, it's the same type of knowledge that can be applicable. It's the same type of statistics that can be applicable like, to sport data. So that's why it's really interesting for me.
Okay, well, this is great. So the perspective for me was as a coach is, okay, I get data, I get insight, and it's hard data. That's the thing, because my experience or coach's experience is always a little bit like, okay, this is the way I do it, this is the way you do it, but you get hard data and you suddenly have a base from which you can act and tell the players what to do. Because normally they sometimes can tell me, yeah, that's what you say, Wolf. There's another coach who says different. But if you have hard data and you can show it also to government, medicine connections, so there's a lot of background where we can work with. So what kind of future perspective have you, Irfan, and you, Julie, with the data, and you with the hardware, where this could go?
Well, basically, as you mentioned, there's a lot of data required to even draw some conclusions. So the biggest step, or the next step, would be, you know, to get this out in the field and give it to as many players as possible to gather data, and also to you know, to talk to the people personally, because the data is one thing and the other thing is what the coach says or how the player performs, and then you can connect basically the objective data with the I'm not sure how to say it, but to see how a good player, what makes a good player and what makes a novice player or a bad player.
What makes a player better?
Because the data on its own, it doesn't have a lot of value. So a lot of data can be used combined with the metadata or tagging, good player, bad player, novice, female, male, to draw some good conclusions and to find some trends in how a good player should perform. So as I said, the next step is to gather as much data as possible.
And for me, I think the next step is like, it's what I'm really interested about. It's about research, and the water rugby is such like a new sport that I'm pretty sure we can learn new things from this. It's just bringing a new angle into the sport, which has never been done before, and so I'm pretty sure we're going to find really interesting things.
So the next important step, I think, would be, and we already talked about it, to get a whole team on a high level, the sensors, like Malch or like the Colombians, like the Orcas, and follow their trainings, probably the data of their trainings for let's say a certain time, and then look into it, what is the difference, what is similarity, what can you take out of it, what's special about it. So this would be really great. Okay, I think there's a lot of potential in it, and we're looking forward to it. And if you have any questions, please come back to us. And thanks, Julie. Thanks, Irfan. And well, stay tuned. We'll hear from you. Thank you.